Hello, and welcome to the Abbott MUSE.
I thought
Today I would give you a brief reading excerpt from a book of short stories that I am currently rereading again because I like them. It is called Thrilling Adventure Yarns, and it is by my friends at the Crazy8Press, and it has a cacophony of authors that I adore, including my close friend Michael Jan Friedman, who has been a mentor to me. And so I thought today, considering the title of his story and the climate we currently find ourselves in, a story called Masks, and you can see that, seemed appropriate. So I shall give you a quick read, and if you enjoy it, which of course you will, then you should buy it. And I will give you details about how to get hold of a copy of the book later. Okay, so let's start. It had been a long time since Rita Cunningham had let anyone tell her what to do, so when the thug holding a gun on a couple of elderly ladies told her to get lost, she declined to take his advice. "You hear me?" he growled, his voice echoing in the benighted brick confines of the deserted factory street. "Take a powder before I plug you one." Then Rita stepped out of the shadows and into the unencumbered glow of a streetlight, and the thug with the gun got a better look at her. Even before he could get the words out, his eyes widened, and he took a step back. Then he stammered, "Blue mask?" There was fear in his voice, genuine and undisguised, and for good reason. In the last year and a half, Blue Mask had scoured New York's back alleys of crime and dirty dealings, giving criminals notice of a new set of rules in town. You play, you pay. The police couldn't always be depended on to apprehend those who needed apprehending, especially when corruption ran rampant on the force. But Blue Mask appeared to be everywhere, giving crime the black eye it deserved. Of course, there was always some lowlife who figured he could fall between the cracks. He'll learn, Rita thought. Her first order of business was relieving her adversary of his weapon. Capitalizing on his surprise, she took a couple of quick steps and launched herself at him feet first. Before he could get a shot off, Rita kicked out with his heel and flattened his nose. The impact sent him reeling into an overstuffed trash can, his gun flying out of his hand. But it was Rita's second kick, this one to the side of the fellow's head, that drove him to the ground face first, the contents of the trash can cascading all over him. Shandiana tea, she thought with satisfaction. It wasn't as well known as jiu-jitsu, but for her money it was more effective. Stunned as the crook was, he planted his palms on the ground and tried to push himself up. Rita stopped him by planting her boot sole on the back and pushing him down again. "Let me go!" he pleaded as best he could, with his face pressed against the concrete. "Not likely," she said, whipping out a tightly woven rayon cord and using it to hog-tie the crook's wrists. By then, of course, the two elderly ladies had made their way down to the avenue. Rita hoped they'd find a more populated route on their way home. "Let me go!" the crook groaned from under Rita's boot. "And I'll tell you something, that's how the cops work, right? I'll tell you something that'll help you nab something bigger." In her experience, such tips often turned out to be useless, but she had nothing to lose by listening. "All right, I'm waiting." "It's like this," the hold-up man said, and he told Rita what would help her nab somebody bigger. Much bigger. So big, in fact, that she couldn't help but be skeptical. "And how do you know this?" she asked. He told her that too. Rita frowned. It wasn't just that his source was a relatively plausible one, it was that the information fit. "Thanks," she said, and attended to the rope that held the crook. But she didn't loosen it, she tightened it. "Hey, wait a minute," he shrilled. "You said you'd let me go." "Not me," she said as she produced another strip of rayon and tied the fellow's ankles together. Then she retrieved her adversary's gun and slipped it into her pocket for disposal later on. The crook struggled to free himself, albeit to no avail. "But the cops!" Rita smoothed the front of her suit with her blue-gloved hands. "Sorry," she said, "I'm no cop." And she made her way out of the alley. Now, I recognize, because I'm British, I have given these characters a British flair that they probably ought not to have. In fact, I don't know quite why I've made Blue Mask to be, like, I don't know, one of the royals. But nevertheless, it's a very good story, and I can't do an American accent. I've tried, believe me, I am useless at it. Get this book. It's a great read, and I'm sure you will love it. All right, that's just me, Chris Abbott, from the Abbott MUSE, signing off saying, buy this book.